Hello, hello, and welcome to the It's in You podcast. So, today I am bringing to you a coaching call that I did with Carly. Now, Carly is a beautiful human being, and I really, really loved speaking to her. And I actually felt like we could talk for hours. And what I am really excited to bring to you all is how Carly's feeling, because I know so many women that feel exactly the same way. Carly feels that she has tried so many different times to lose weight and to feel good about her body. She feels like she's tried these fad diets and crazy, insane types of workouts, but none of them she's been able to stick to, which I don't blame her because I wouldn't be able to either. She feels like she really, really struggles with being consistent and just finding something that works for her that she can stick to. It was really, really lovely. And I hope you can all appreciate how open Carly was in how she felt. Now, I know she has had a bit of a long journey. And in the last few months, in the last year or so, she was actually quite sick, and she's been able to work through that. And from that, she has realized that she has some pain in her hips. And, she also feels like she wants to change it, but it feels so overwhelming as to where she should start. So I'm really, really excited for you all to listen to this podcast, because I know lots of you have had similar experiences or feel the same way. So I know you're going to get lots from this podcast. So I am going to jump straight into it, and make sure you hang around all the time to the end. Let you know our plan of attack. All right. So what I first wanted to ask you is, so what would you like to get out of this? So what would you?
I just think even sticking to like exercising and eating properly, because I find that like I've tried all the diets, I've tried all the, I've worked out for like really like intensely for 2 weeks, and then I'm like, well, I don't really want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
It's too much. And then same with eating. Like I don't really understand nutrition.
Yeah.
And so because I don't understand nutrition, I go on like these fad diets, and then all of a sudden I'm like, this isn't really sustainable.
Yeah.
Like I don't enjoy it. I'm not enjoying where I'm at. So I just think consistency, like being able to stick to it, is like my biggest goal. I also, I really obviously want to lose weight. I have, unfortunately, really bad genes. A lot of health stuff that runs in my family.
What's the stuff that runs in your family?
So arthritis. So I am already at risk for rheumatoid arthritis because I have asthma and eczema.
Yeah.
And I also already have like pretty consistent pain in my hips.
Oh, yeah.
Because they think they've already said they're pretty sure it's rheumatoid arthritis, but they said if like I start working on it and strengthening the joints and all of that sort of stuff, I wouldn't be in as much pain as I'm in. And naturally, because of my weight as well, that doesn't really help. So yeah.
How would you describe your pain?
I'm like constantly when I'm walking, I'm in pain in the joints in my hips. Like I can, it's almost like a sort of rubbing pain. They just ache all the time.
And like, has that just started, or has it always been that way?
Probably in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty new, which is probably been my biggest wake up call. I actually had some health issues last year. I had stuff going on with my stomach and stuff, and I going through all of that and just like the mental toll that took, because I wasn't able to work. I had 2 kids, like, and I was in and out of hospital all the time. It was horrific.
What was it that happened last year?
So I would say they were attacks. That's what I called them. I'd be walking. It could be from here to my car. It could be here to the bathroom. It could be anywhere. And I literally could be fine. And then I'd be on the ground, like in excruciating pain. And they were like, it's IBS. It's this, it's that. It's, you've all these things, and they didn't actually get down to the issue until November last year, that started in April.
Oh, wow.
And I'd been telling them, like, you need to do investigations. Like, this is not normal.
Yeah.
And they
But
took
you have to
them.
fight it so often, don't you?
Yeah, and it was like it affected my work. I
Yeah.
couldn't work. I couldn't look after my kids half the time.
Yeah.
It was horrific.
Yeah.
And then I finally found a doctor that went, okay, we're going to admit you. We're going to do the investigations, and they did a colonoscopy
Yeah.
and an endoscopy. So they did the endoscopy first, and they said, well, your intestines are really like enlarged. And I'm like, I'm not lying. I wasn't making this up.
I'm not making it up.
And then they did the colonoscopy like a month after, and they're like, oh, you have like cysts all through your bowels and your intestines, and that's the issue. And I'm like,
Oh,
thank you.
so what have they what's been done since?
So I in the colonoscopy itself, it ended up going for 3.5 hours,
Mhm.
and which normally goes for 25 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and they burnt all of the cysts off, and then they seen where the scar tissue was from the previous ones bursting. And
Right.
so that's
Which
what
is
was
what the attacks were.
causing to me be sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not only were they bursting, but because there was so much acid and stuff going on in my stomach, they ended up once they burnt it off and stuff, they were like, yeah, well, that's why you're vomiting and that's why your intestines are
Yeah.
large. I'm like, funny that.
So what did they give you, like, after finding out that, what did they, what
Well, they pretty much the attack stopped after that. They just I personally focused on my gut health because I'd been on antibiotics. I'd been on
yeah,
you name it for 9 months.
yeah,
And they were like, well, you're probably going to have IBS. It's probably a thing anyway.
yeah.
I was like, cool. Thanks for
I
that.
don't think you need to accept that, but yeah,
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 no, that's right. I don't. I
yeah,
refuse to believe that I have IBS. I've worked with
yeah, yeah,
clients who have IBS, and
yeah,
it's not a thing.
yeah.
I genuinely don't believe that I have it.
I just think you can, I think, like, we could accept it, or you could look at changing things.
Well, that's right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. And I just focused on for a good month and a half, like after all of that,
Mhm.
on my gut health
Yeah.
and like having probiotics and all of that sort of stuff because I at one stage ended up at the hospital because they'd given me so many antibiotics
Right.
that it stripped the lining of my
Yeah.
stomach.
So hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So hard.
it
Yeah.
was yeah, it was definitely interesting last year.
Yeah,
I don't
that stuff's hard. That stuff's hard. It takes its toll on, it takes its toll on everybody when it's kids,
100%.
and yeah, it's hard. How do you feel now about, do you feel back to normal from that stuff?
Yeah. I feel like I've got to restart my life over. I've got to get back into work and I've got to, get back into a routine with my kids and, oh, sorry, all that sort of stuff. So I'm just ready to restart my life. Like,
Yeah. It's a great
and
time.
yeah, and I think one of the things that has always been at the top of my mind is consistently just getting healthy
Yeah.
and being healthy. So,
So what does healthy mean to you?
just being, I want to be at a healthy weight. I'm not unrealistic. I don't think it's going to one happen overnight, and two, I'm going to be like 50 kilos. Like,
Yeah.
you know
But
what I mean?
what would you see as a healthy weight?
Probably 80 kilos, 80 to 90 kilos. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's my goal to start with. I am tall.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm 5'8", but it also doesn't excuse the fact that I'm sitting at 143 kilos.
Terrible.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's what you would see. And what else does being healthy mean to you?
Just being able to like do day-to-day tasks like um w- going to the shops and not being out of breath and um playing with my kids at the beach or the park or and not just having to sit down every 5 minutes because I'm hurting because of all of the weight that I'm carrying. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just want to live my life.
what is your work like? Are you working now or you're not working?
Yes, I'm working now, and I work in mental health and disability. I'm a support worker.
Oh, yeah.
So that in itself is quite an active job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am like, I can be active. I know that sounds strange because I'm like, I've got to sit down every 10 minutes, but I can go swimming for 2 hours at a time with my kids, but then that's it. Like, do you know what I mean? I can't, like, I go to the go swimming and then I'm like, okay, now I've got to sit down for the rest of the day. Like, I'm done.
Yeah. So, yeah. But you like swimming, don't you?
I love swimming, yeah. The water's my home.
Yeah. So is swimming something that you do every day or?
I was at the beginning of this year, and then getting back into work, I wasn't able to keep up with it, but that's just my time management. I'm very poor.
Are you shift though? So is your work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I can either be working from 9 to 5, I can be working from 7 to 5, I can be working from 8 o'clock at night till 9 o'clock in the morning. It just, yeah.
And how old are you? Like, are your kids at school? Are your kids?
Yes, they are. And one's our youngest is 8, and the oldest is 13.
Yeah, cool.
Which is, he's pushing all those boundaries at the moment.
Oh yeah, that's becoming that teenage. And on your own, or do you have a partner?
I have a wife. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got someone in the house with you. So your wife.
Yeah.
So it's not like you could be doing something that there's someone to watch the kids.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
And my mum's here too. So that's
okay. So you've got support at home. So it's just it's trying to work out what we can manage with life, like with, like, are you having to like be at home for the kids because you've got no one else to watch them? So that's what we're trying to navigate. Okay, so swimming is your thing. And do your shifts change? Like, are they different every week?
No, they're pretty consistent, which is really, really good. They have just started becoming really consistent. And I have I call them, like, I've got a big week and then a little week.
Oh, yeah.
And so I work literally Monday to Friday, and then I have Saturday off. And then my next day off is next Friday. But then I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off.
Yeah. And are you a morning person, not a morning person?
Yeah, I'm a morning person. I'm definitely not a night person.
Yeah. What I would like to think is I'd like to look at getting rid of your pain. That's like what I think could be like a good thing to focus on. Yep. So and have you ever heard of anything about like what your why is in life?
No.
So your why is, so you know how you said you've tried, so like in the first kind of notes we got, you said that everything you've tried is like not sustainable. Like you've tried it for 2 weeks and you weren't able to stick to it. So what we want to think about is like get back to why you want to do things. So from just listening to what my motivator, if I was you, would be, but you want to look at things like you want to look at things that you do have a risk of, and you of arthritis, or rheumatoid arthritis. You've already starting to know some of those pains. You were obviously quite sick last year, which would have not only put a toll on you, but it would have taken a whole toll on
100%. Once I was sick, I noticed there was so much more stuff I couldn't do because I wasn't moving as much. I wasn't running around with my kids, and I wasn't even going to the shops half the time. Like, I wasn't doing any of that because I was too scared I was going to be in the middle of a shopping center and be in agonizing pain.
Yeah.
So I lost, I've noticed in myself like lost a lot of muscle tone.
Yeah.
In things that I used to be able to do.
Yeah. So what I would think about that why. So the why is the is your deeper motivator. So it's easy to say, like lots of people will say, I want to lose weight, which yes, that's a great thing. But sometimes it then gets a little bit difficult and we go, actually, that seems a bit hard. Maybe the weight loss is not the biggest motivator for us, but
Yep.
maybe thinking a bit deeper. So my why is about aging. So I want to be able to age well, and I want to be able to I want to be able to be as active and do as much things as I can the older that I get. So I don't want to be an elderly person that can't get in and out of a chair. I don't want to be an elderly person that, like just basic stuff can't, I want to be an elderly person that's living a good life. I don't want to be in a home. I'd like to do as much as I could to prevent me from being that. So my beliefs are that the stronger and fitter I am, whatever life throws at me, I'll be able to cope with it better.
100%.
So that's my motivator. But if you ask me to run a race against somebody else, I actually wouldn't want to do that. That's not motivating for me. Where some people, so it's just working out. It's unique to you, but we just think a little bit deeper as to what that why could be. That will be the thing motivation gets you started. So we might feel motivated, but after the 2 weeks, it's too hard.
100%. Yeah.
So when we remind ourselves of why you're doing this, it will be the thing that will keep you going, and you're going to more likely be able to stick to it.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah. Even like, besides just not being in pain, but just being there for my kids and being present in the activities that they do. Like that's, I've never even looked at it like that.
When we think about, like, when you think about that, because there's times all of us can't be bothered. Like, and I say to people all the time, yes, I'm a trainer, but there's a million times I cannot be bothered to exercise. But I have to dig that deeper and remember that why, because it's easy to stay in bed. It might be easy now to stay in bed or to not move, but it's not going to be easier, and you're only 29. Like, you have so much time ahead of you and you can, like, if you're already getting signs of arthritis, you can change it. Like, you can you can work on like your mobility and strengthening the muscles. And I've got other clients that are in their like 60s, and they have arthritis, and they've noticed difference with changing their food, like through the food. You've got, you're so young that you've got such a good amount of time to make a huge difference and not let anything get worse. I also always think that you have this piece of information, whether it comes true or whether it doesn't come true, whether you do get rheumatoid arthritis, whether you don't, but you have this piece of information that there's a possibility. So let's not like wait for it to happen and then deal with it. Let's do as much as you can beforehand and go, well, how can I prevent it? If it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter.
It is like, obviously, like the pains in my hips, like it was a big wake up call. I was like, well, it's already happening and I'm 29. I was just, it was a huge, like, even that was a huge mental game. Like, and then I just, I realized, like, well, same thing. I'm just waiting for it to happen. So why not fix it?
Prevent
change
it. Prevent it, or do as much as you can. So if it does happen, you can manage it better.
That's right. That's exactly right.
It's easier now before it becomes full-blown arthritis, or it's easier now, but obviously, there's risk factors that you could change that would add to it. So obviously weight, movement, people with arthritis, the more muscle mass you have, the better. So so that's how I would try to look at it, because
100%. I've never actually looked at it like that. Besides, I just want to lose weight. And it was never like, why do you want to lose weight?
And sometimes, like I said, it's not that, because it gets hard, and it's not. Sometimes it's losing weight isn't enough of a motivator for us. It's because you go, actually, I'm living like this now. I can just stay, but
it's comfortable.
When if you have arthritis and you can't move, like that's not good.
100%, 100%. And
Yeah.
I think like, yeah, just even on my dad's side of the family, there's heart issues in just it's mainly been in the male side, but that
Yeah.
scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Excuse the language, but it really does. Like,
Yeah.
what if I'm that one girl? What if I'm that one
Yeah.
female in our family that
So you give yourself, you can give yourself the best chance of, if any of that happens, you're like, that's what I believe. Like, that's what I do. Like my dad had I think he's had three now, like, and he's had them he had them quite young, so there is a genetic
yeah,
component there too, so again, I just feel like I just want to give myself the best, because life will throw something at us,
that's right.
it's, but if you give yourself the best opportunity to recover from it, well,
That's
that's
so important. Yeah. No, I love that. I
so
haven't, yeah,
I think if you could spend some time thinking about that could be
yeah,
that. The other thing, but again, like I said, we'll get like a plan for you that
yep,
we can work it. The other thing is, um I I would presume that you would have a really high amount of muscle mass. So we get on the scales, and you look at the scales and you go, oh my God, I'm 143 kilos. But I guarantee you have a really high amount of muscle mass, right? Have you ever done a scan like that before?
no, but it makes a whole lot of sense. And the reason I say that is because I have like one of my biggest insecurities is my thighs.
Oh yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah.
Like they're not they're huge. Anyway,
Yeah.
I will constantly say that to my wife. I'll be like, oh my God, like I like need to do something about it. And she's like, it's all muscle. It's
Yeah.
all muscle. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, it's not.
So you don't want to lose that muscle mass. So we don't want to like diet and not eat, like say like eat 1,200 calories, or try to restrict our food, because you'll lose that muscle. Remember how we were talking about protection, like giving your body the best chance it has to, like fight off fight off anything that happens, arthritis or heart attacks or any of those things. The more muscle mass you have, the better. So it's
Yeah.
better for all of those things. We obviously you want to look at reducing fat, but
Yeah.
like what I find in say like people that weigh like 120, 140, what I find them, they have this great amount of muscle mass, so it's so hard to grow muscle, so it's so hard, so you've got it there, so we don't want to be silly and lose
Don't
it.
want to lose it.
We
Yeah.
don't want to lose it. So we want to look at like, obviously with movement, you'll with movement and looking at changing your food, you'll look at you'll bring your fat down, but you want to maintain that muscle mass. So
Yeah.
that you can try to make sure you're maintaining that muscle mass by eating enough protein, by making sure you're prioritizing protein, and,
Yeah.
and make that a priority, because some, like I weighed 75 and I lost 5 kilos. Now, if I was only looking at that one piece of data, like the scale, I did like a body composition scan. So if I was only looking on that one scale, I would have thought I was better off because I'd lost 5 kilos, where I lost 3 kilos of muscle. So I was actually better off at 75 than what I was at 70.
Yeah. Yep.
So the same as we have this picture of, I want to be 80 or 90 kilos, that's good. But I want you to be that with muscle
With
mass.
muscle.
I don't
Yeah.
want you to be like, yeah. So I want you to just it's just a different way to view our body, and
Yeah. 100%.
just be like, you've already got, like, I come across people that yes, they're thin, but they have no muscle, and I would prefer to be bigger and have muscle than be thin and not be able to move, or not, so
Yeah.
you've already got, and I'm sure you're really strong in lots of things, so we want to keep it, we want
Yeah.
to look at keeping it, and we just want to make that like a priority, because it's so hard to get muscle. So
Yeah.
let's look at, and because you're young as well, you'll probably, like, you'll probably make changes after 30 if you are not actively working on muscle, you actually start to lose it. So
Yeah.
as I said, so this is your chance to
Well,
go like, you know, like,
yeah, 100%. I literally
yeah,
turned 30 next month.
yeah. So you can go, but this is your chance to like make sure you're
Yeah.
like, you have to work a little bit harder to keep it, to make sure you maintain it, but like without even seeing a scan of you, I know you would have a good amount of muscle. So
Yeah.
that's what I like. And it also, if we could change our headset to be focusing on the muscle, you know, focusing on the muscle, it's a good, you know.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like there's a lot of penny drops like in this, just
Oh,
in this, even in this conversation.
yeah.
It's really helpful.
Yeah, that's so good. So that's what I would that's what I'd be thinking. I would also want to think about being really realistic
Oh,
with
yep.
like if you, because we want everything that to be something you can stick to for life. We don't want to be like we don't want to be going gung-ho at the start. So I want you to start to think like, what do you think is realistic to your life? So let's go. You like swimming, but
Hmm.
when you swim for 2 hours, do you do laps, or are you just playing around?
Well, it's mainly at the beach.
Okay, right, yep.
So yeah, like mainly at the beach. Um, I when I'm in the pool, I actually focus on my hips. I really take it slow. Like I do. I really want to get into water aerobics. I think that'll be
I love water aerobics. Yeah.
yeah, I think that'd be cool. But like because my partner actually has a back injury she sustained from work, so we go to the pool once a week anyway, for her back to build that.
Do you like you do the work? Like
Yeah,
you
so
be there.
I
So
yeah, yeah.
when
So
you're at the
I do
pool,
it
you're
with her.
focused
Yeah.
on her? Yeah.
Yeah, so I do it with her. So whatever exercise she's doing, I do it with her.
Oh, so you're exercising as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way we want to look at, say, exercise is you have an active job, but your body's used to that. So whatever movement and that you're doing around your job, your body's used to.
Yep.
Yes, you have an active job, but your body's used to that. So to get a change, we need to do something different. If you're
Yep.
already going and doing like a water activity with your wife, like because you're doing that, your body's used to that. So to get a change, we need to think of realistically what you can fit into your life. So
Mhm.
do you have any like a watch that tracks your step? Do you have any of those things? Do you wear any of those things?
No.
Okay, so that's fine. It just gives you an eye. It just so what we want to think about doing, and also what you want to think about doing is what is going to suit your lifestyle. So that's why I was making, you know, like I was saying, if you had someone at home, like do you have to get home straight to the kids? Maybe
Yeah. No.
doing something in the house is better for you. You're a morning person, so maybe looking at getting up and going for a walk in the morning could be something that you could
Yep.
do for work. I tend to find that the morning is easier to do something. If you do it in the morning, it's done. The afternoon, people tend to have more excuses. Life happens.
100%. And that's my biggest thing is like I would go, oh, I'll just do it in the afternoon. And then I'll get to the afternoon, I'm like, well, I've got to cook dinner, I've got to wash
Yeah, and
the
the
kitchen,
kids need
I've got
this
to
and the
do
kids are
dishes.
tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to set yourself up for success. We want to make it the easiest pathway possible, so you're more likely to stick to it. So it could be so I just find if we do it, I always say to myself, if I do something in the morning, if I get anything extra done in the afternoon, that's a bonus.
Right. Yeah.
The other thing to understand around exercise is it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be crazy HIIT workouts or any of those things. If you did 10 minutes a few times a day or 10 minutes every day, it's better than nothing. And 5 minutes, 10 minutes turns into 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So so when I had like Charlie, so that was my little girl that was here.
Oh,
So
that's my nephew's name. His name's
oh,
Charlie.
Charlie, yeah. So when I had her, like I was like had the juggle of two and was working whatever else. So I couldn't so I just did little bits when I could throughout the day. I always did something, but
Yep.
sometimes it would be 20 minutes, sometimes it would be 10 minutes, sometimes it would be longer, but I always did something. But I
Yep.
think lots of people get hung up on that it needs to be all or nothing, or oh, I can't do half an hour, or I can't do an hour, so I'm not going to do nothing. Any little bit will help. So that's what I would. I also would look at so I would think of some of what you feel like you realistically could do, like could how does your hip, like, do you think like you could go walk in the morning, or do you think that irritates you?
No, I have actually recently just got like really supportive shoes because of my hips. So I like walking like 10-15 minutes is no issue. And my dog will love it.
Cool. What type of dog do you have?
He's an Akita cross Staffy.
Okay, so he's an all right walker. Like my dog, the only reason I'm asking is when I walk with my dog, it's not a walk, because my dog stops and pees all the time.
Oh yeah, no, my dog is he's got more energy than all of us in this house combined.
If your dog's a good walker, then you use your dog. But my dog stops and pees and sniffs and whatever. So I just go, this is about him. I'll walk separately because I'm not really getting my heart rate up or anything. So I would see if we can start with something like that. And what the other thing is I would suggest is some stretches for your hips. Did you say you've been seeing someone about them?
No, so I thought what happened is I thought I threw my back out, and it was actually my hips, and I went to the hospital because it was like 2 weeks after, and I'm still in like excruciating pain, like what is this? And then they actually did something about it, and then they sent me to their physio at the hospital, and I was like, amazing, because he gave me so many, like, that physio was amazing. And
so that obviously back pain, lots of times it's the opposing muscle group.
So that's what I learned through the physio. So he taught me how to help it when it's hurting, not how to maintain like stretching it and stuff. So
what exercise did he give you to do?
So he told me that I need to, like, when it's really, really sore, I need to manipulate the joint. And so stuff like that. So he didn't give me any like stretches or anything to maintain it. If that makes sense.
So what we want to do,
it's sore,
we want to get your hip moving well. And look, so many people have tight hips, like but when you get it moving well, your hip moving well, and you'll feel amazing for it. But I have got some stuff that I can send you to try.
Amazing.
So that's what I would be looking at. Eating wise, what do you feel like? What do you feel like? How do you kind of eat? So you spent lots of times dieting.
Yes.
What do you regularly? Do you not eat? Do you?
I just don't prioritize eating good food. It's convenient. It's whatever's convenient, whatever's there. Like, and I for a long time used my job as an excuse. I'm too busy to cook something, so I'll get something on the way. Or
so do you eat a lot of you like takeaways?
Not as much anymore, but I still definitely still a couple of times a week.
What's your kind of vice? What's your chocolate
salt like anything, like potato chips, like and which is really bad because of the whole heart situation.
But like so what about your family? What's your family like with food? Like, so what does everybody eat the same? Do you have to?
Kids and my wife and I will eat dinners with the kids. They will eat lunches and stuff on their own, and we will most of the time skip lunch.
Are you skipping lunch because you're busy, or are you skipping lunch because you're trying to lose weight?
No, because we're busy. Well, that's the excuse anyways. And it really is. It's And then breakfast. I used to be a big breakfast eater.
Yeah.
Not anymore. I don't eat breakfast at all.
So do not why?
Um,
There's no
I again, it's just I have very poor time management,
yeah.
and I know that's something I definitely need to work on. So like if I get up for work, I literally will get up, get dressed, and leave. I won't go, oh, like I need to do this or I need to do that. It's I need to go to work. Sorry?
Did you plan it the night before?
No.
No.
That's a good idea though.
But you could. Okay.
Yes, I could do it the night before. Yeah.
Okay. So what I want you to think about is with food, we've got to be realistic. Okay. So we've got to be
Yeah.
realistic. So, like if potato chips are your vice, I want you to make sure you have them every day. So
Yep.
not a whole big bag. I want you
Yep.
to look at like, you can get those smaller bags.
Yeah, the little packets. Yep.
Choose a time where like maybe like the kids have gone to bed or something and you and your wife are spending time together and you just can have a like a packet each and really enjoy it, or like think
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
make it like a ritual or a ceremony type thing, so that it's a
Yeah.
special like thing and that you really look forward to it and enjoy it. But put that when you're thinking about whatever with your food, I would make sure whatever your vice is, like whatever that, which yours is your potato chips, like keep that in there. So
Yeah.
if you don't have it in there, all you'll do is think about it. And again, you want to find something that you can stick to.
100%. Yeah.
So I would think about that, and then I would like take away the thoughts of good or bad, because we don't want to like start all these different things and then we feel overwhelmed. So
Yeah.
I would just look at trying to plan a bit better. So then you
Yep.
have food. So just again, think about what works for you. And it's like how I eat now is completely different as to how I ate 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So and I'm always having to reassess what's going to work better for my family and my lifestyle. So
Yep.
at the moment, we have been ordering in like HelloFresh. So because like the food is on a card, so my husband will follow the card. If he will get the stuff and he can follow the card because it's all written for
Yeah,
him.
we actually tried HelloFresh, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago or something. And it worked really well because the boys got involved,
Yes. So
which
like
was really,
so we've gone back to doing that. I'm just mindful because sometimes the calories are really high in
yeah.
what the meals are. But again, from a not having to think about food because it's there, so just have a think about what, talk to your wife, what do you think could work better for your family dynamic.
Yeah.
That's what we've gone back to, and I'm actually really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I prep food, I make food up. So there's so many things you could look at doing, but it's just working out. You could do things like you can you can the dinner the night before, you can make enough for your lunch. You could look at making
Yeah.
a portion. You can look at if it depends on your personality. I'm somebody that likes eating. I'm happy to eat the same food every day. So
Yeah. Not now.
yeah.
And the reason I say that is because our 8-year-old has autism.
Okay, yeah.
So he's quite fussy with his food. And on top of that, my wife has ADHD. So she will hyperfixate for about a week and then it's onto something new. So it's always interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just that's what I'm saying. Like it's just finding what works. Like it doesn't, I know lots of people are like, I can't eat the same thing. For me, if it's made up and I don't have to think about it, then that suits me. So just look at the other thing that I like a protein shake. Not for
Mhm.
I don't like a protein shake as a meal replacement. A protein shake is because food is always the best choice, but it can be in those times we're busy, where we don't have enough time to eat. It could be the
It'd be
safe.
really good at work because there is times where I don't have a chance to eat.
Yes, and
Um,
it.
Yeah, that's so
So
good.
like I like the morning. So some mornings I'll have like people from 5 a.m. and I might not get a break until 10 or 11. So I'll like have a protein shake like in
Yep.
a cup and I'll just sip it, so then I'm at least fueling myself.
Yep.
I don't have enough time to eat, if I'm on the go. So I just find it good for that. Obviously, yes, food is the number one, proper food is the number one priority, but just think about some convenient ways you can. The other thing is there's nothing wrong with microwave, like again, we're not trying to be perfect, but
Yep.
you want to just try to look at eating more consistently and fueling your body. Like, do you feel tired? And
All the time.
so
All the time.
again, I'm just going to presume that, so lots of people like you're skipping lunch and you might not eat, so
And
you're
then when I'm eating, it's not very good food.
well, you're
So
not fueling yourself. Yeah, so you're actually
yeah.
probably in the category of under eating, which people go, well, I'm 140 kilos, how can I be under eating? But what's probably happening is you're probably like not eating enough, you're not spreading it out through the day, we're not eating enough food, so
Yeah.
the body will just be storing everything, and what it does is when it's not getting enough fuel, it'll turn off what it doesn't need. So what you don't
Yeah.
need for just survival, it'll slow you down, like it'll make you feel more lethargic. That's where like lots of times, like because you're not eating correctly, like your pain will be heightened, like those
Yeah.
things. So that's what I'm saying. Again, look at things for convenience. Like
Yep.
could you have microwave meals?
Yeah.
Like
100%. Yep.
again, like, because you're not going to cook, but maybe that could be I've had people that just bought the salad bowls and put tuna with it, and that they've, because they don't want to prep food. It's
Yep. Well, I actually, it's funny you say that because I do that every Thursday because I have a client who doesn't have a microwave
oh yeah,
and it's there from 2:30 till 10 p.m. So
oh, dinner.
yeah, it's that's I find that I'm almost like nervous, like, oh my God, like I need to figure out something because otherwise I'm not going to eat. And then
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So just think about like the things that can make you like, so when I was pregnant, I
Yep.
knew that I wasn't gonna, like I knew that I didn't really want to eat, say, food. I was feeling like I just couldn't be bothered. So I just went and bought like a whole pile of microwave meals because
Yeah.
like again, it just meant that I knew that I'd at least getting some fuel, better fuel in my body,
Yep.
times that, like I can really relate to how sick you were, because my husband was sick for about 18 months and we were in
Oh
and out of
wow.
hospital, and it was a bowel issue,
Yeah.
diverticulitis he had actually. But those times, like, again, I couldn't be bothered like eating, and that's where like those things came in. There was lots of times I ate chocolate sultanas for dinner or Maltesers,
Yeah.
which isn't the best, but as time went on, I worked out. So think about what things you could do that's works for your family, that's more convenient.
Yep.
Look, I prep food. It is a lifesaver. I prep food. I have food cooked in the freezer. I make stuff in the slow cooker. I make like bolognese in the slow cooker, and then that will do for dinner, and I'll freeze some as well so I can just pull it out and it's made. uh,
Yep.
I do that type of stuff, but just think about what things could you start implementing for
Yep.
your family that could make your life easier. Now, we were reminding ourselves the reason that we're doing this is because you don't want to be in pain anymore. You're not fueling your body correctly, so the more that we start, you're going to have more energy. You're going to start feeling better by just starting to eat a better balance of food.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. No, it's even like the protein shake. Like I never actually understood the whole reason for a protein shake. And I was like, oh, like I see all these people doing it, but like why? Like no one ever actually explains like it's
A
to
lot
fuel
of
your like
Yeah, so
it's
protein. So your protein shake, say your protein is gonna. So remember how we talked about we wanting to build your muscle and keep your muscle.
yeah.
So protein is going to be your priority to keep that.
Yep.
So if you want to look at trying to not get too complicated, but let's say your fats and your carbohydrates are your body's going to take up and use, and depending on, being very general, but if you're not, let's say you're eating, let's say you're eating a high amount of carbohydrates and we're not really moving very well, we're not moving very much, so your body's going to store it in case we need it for later. So what we want to do is you need a balance of protein, fats, and carbs. We all need that.
Yep.
But your protein will come in, and instead of it being stored, your body will get rid of it. What it use what it needs and get rid of. So you want to think, if you looked at whatever you're eating, you just want the protein to be the hero, and we want it to be the hero because we want to maintain that muscle that you have.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at like losing fat, we want it. So when I lost that 5 kilos and I lost muscle, I wasn't eating enough protein. So that's why. So if you exercise, protein will be the thing that you use to recover,
Okay. Yeah.
No,
it's so good to know.
That's why you want to be eating that. But like I said, we just, and the protein will keep you full. So it's the thing that keeps you full. So you might also, and you might start to notice things like now you've become aware of it. So say, again, nothing wrong with carbohydrates. We all need them. But if you had a meal that's really high in carbs, you would notice that you'll be hungry pretty soon after. Again, not your fault. It's just because that the body will burn it up quickly.
Processing it,
it'll think you need that energy, and it will turn it to glucose. So it's the easiest way for the body to burn it up. So so you cut. That's what will, and you'll notice you'll be hungry quicker if you have a protein focused breakfast. You'll see that you're fuller for longer.
No, it's really interesting to
and if you think about, again, trying to not get too complicated, but if you think about digestion, so fiber and protein will take longer to digest than carbohydrates. So when we look at eating those that way, you'll feel like you'll be able to eat that food, and you'll be able to, you won't be as hungry as quick, or you'll feel more satisfied. Where like if I'm busy and I'm not organized, toast is always a go-to. So I'll say have toast, and then I'll notice I'm hungry really quick. Breakfast wise, if you do you eat meat at all? You don't eat meat?
I eat meat.
I really like a meat breakfast. I like mince, and you can cook up a pot of mince, and like savory mince. You can just cook up a pot of mince and you can freeze it, and you could freeze it, or you could, like years I used to do it, and I used to put it in containers. So so say, like as an example, it's just an easy breakfast, and you'll see how. Just try it. If you see how you feel when you have that, you'll feel that you're not hungry as soon, or you're satisfied.
No, that's so cool. Like even that, like I've just mainly been like, it's been like eggs for breakfast, but then you get over eggs pretty quickly, and it's that's my thing, is I get over.
So looking at protein, so let's say as a guide, I aim to eat 150 grams of protein a day. So as a guide, an egg has only got 6 grams of protein in it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
So this is what I'm saying. So you would want to, you would want to be similar. You would see. Let's say so an egg has only got 6 grams. Let's say a breast of chicken, like a chicken breast, has got 30 grams. Of protein in it. You can get yogurts, so just start thinking about
100%
what your protein is, but don't get too complicated, because we would more like to think about just prioritizing fueling your body, but than getting in the nitty-gritty of numbers, but just thinking about, like, what could I do that could get food organized for me so that I don't have to so that I've got it there, because you want the path of least resistance. So if the food's there and you can just grab it,
Yeah.
and that's where like even it sounds silly with a protein shake, like I'm not going to put it in the blender and blend it up.
Yeah.
It's just another step I'm not going to do. So I have one that I like, and I literally put it in my cup and just mix it.
Mix it. And
Because
like, do you have it? Is it with water? Like you
I
just
just
put it
mix it with water. You can mix
protein
it with
water?
milk
Yeah.
or whatever. Milk doesn't really agree with me, but I just mix it with
Yeah,
water.
no, me either.
Yeah.
Me either. So that's good.
I just mix it with water, and
Yeah.
it's fine,
Yeah. No,
But
that's really handy to know. Like, as I said, I didn't understand the reason behind protein shakes like that. I just, you see it everywhere. You see it at the shops, you see it online, you see it everywhere, and you're like, why? No one actually
and
explains why.
people look at having. I don't agree with you having them as a meal replacement, because
Yep.
long term,
That wouldn't work for me.
nah. But people try to do that. What I find with anyone that does that, they either like lose weight while they do it, and then when they start eating normally, they put weight back on, and plus more. So
Yeah,
what I would prefer to do is take longer to lose weight and to keep the weight off,
100%.
whilst eating the food that I'm going to eat forever. And that's the way that you won't yo-yo anymore.
Yeah. No, that's 100%. And that's like my biggest fear is like losing all this weight and then it not being sustainable.
Yeah.
So,
And I think it's been clear before you start is understanding that fast weight loss is not long-term weight loss. So
yeah,
fast weight loss will we all want it to happen quicker, but it's not going to stay off. So when you can lose weight slowly, it will stay off. When you lose weight, that works in with your lifestyle, that you're including your chips and those,
yeah.
then you'll be able to keep it off.
Yeah. My other question is, so my other vice would be soft drink. And because I don't drink alcohol, I don't drink V's or energy drinks, it's soft drink. And it's like we'll have a bottle of soft drink at least one a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I very much like I will drink soft drink over water.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's always been a big struggle for me as well. Like besides the salt,
Yeah.
yeah. So I just don't know how to tackle that.
Yeah. Do you know what? You're so lucky. When people come to me and they say they want to lose weight and they drink soft drink, I'm like, yes. Because you could just like, I know it's not easy to stop, right? But you would notice a massive difference if you cut back.
Mm-hmm.
You would and you want to think about inflammation and arthritis. The sugar, causes inflammation, which is what hurts your joints. So I would look at soft drink is like, I get it that it's a vice, but it's just such a I'm not saying to quit. If you quit soft drink,
Yeah.
you stop drinking soft drink,
Yeah.
you would lose weight really easy. So
Yep.
it's just empty calories. What I would look at doing is I would look at like weaning yourself off.
Yeah.
If you like it, have you ever read the like I Quit Sugar book, or what's his name, David Gillespie?
Yes, I've heard about it, but I haven't actually read it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so have you ever watched the film? Oh my gosh, oh my God, I've got a blank. It'll come to me.
No, that's okay.
About sugar.
Yep.
It's really good. It'll come to me.
Yep.
A guy does a study and he eats sugar. Oh, can't believe I can't remember the name. Anyway, he eats what people perceive as healthy. I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Soft drink wise, I would just look at what you can handle. So look at weaning yourself. Like I used to have coffee with 2 sugars in it. So I used to have coffee with 2 sugars in it, and
I've just switched from just having sugar in my tea to having honey.
Yeah.
But I find like with my soft drink, I find if there's cans in the house, I'll drink more than one.
Yeah. Yeah.
If there's just one bottle of like a 300 ml or whatever, I'll just drink that.
Yeah.
It's not funny how your brain like
Yeah.
plays those tricks.
It's
Yeah.
also so I would look at, but is soft drink your vice in a way also? If you're stressed, that's the thing that you, yeah, so that's why we want to just look at, like, so if that's your go-to, like when you feel stressed or upset or whatever else, we want to like not go, like just rip that away. You've got to look at replacing it with something
Yeah.
else. And it's just slow. So like I said, it's look at if you have, okay, let's not maybe have as much available in the house, so it's not as easy to get to.
Yeah.
Maybe you could look at drinking the zero style,
Yeah.
like
So I drink Pepsi Max.
that's got no
That's
sugar, doesn't it? Is that right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No sugar. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could look at you could look at that stuff. Just look at reducing that stuff. It's stuff that will make you feel crap.
Yeah.
It's stuff that will,
Yeah.
that's just adding to how you're already feeling.
Yep.
But I would think about what another go-to that you could do when you feel stressed.
Yep. Um, the only other drink I drink is like vitamin water,
Oh yeah,
which
that's a
is full of sugar. But that's okay. Like I'm more than
vitamins
happy
in there.
to, yeah, more than happy to do trial and error. Like,
Yeah. Trial and error, and just like, again, we don't have to be perfect, but it's just look at like, don't put any pressure under yourself. Just look at how you can reduce it,
yeah,
and just take note of how you feel. Like maybe you might notice the days you have less Pepsi, your hips aren't as sore. So start to
yeah,
take note, like keep little notes and just see what
yeah,
you,
absolutely.
because sometimes that can be the motivator to not drink it.
Yep, yeah, no,
Other
that's
times
it.
you
And
might.
like not being in pain is literally my biggest goal. So that's even thinking of it like that, like
But the
it's
other
like,
thing is you could have it and you don't feel in pain, but and that moment of sitting and drinking your Pepsi is the one thing that you absolutely love in life. Well, do it then. you know
yeah, yeah,
and it's just an easy, it's like, that's what I said, it's an easy thing to get rid of, like easy
yeah,
in my mind, sorry, but it's an easy thing to get rid of that we kind of know would be adding calories on that you don't need.
yeah, yeah,
So that's all. But if it's the thing that you absolutely love, like, it's just look at reducing it. Again,
yeah.
same with the chips, make it a special, like, this is my
This is our time. Yeah, like with
our
my
time. This is my time to really sit and enjoy it, and like really savor it, and look at it that way, because
yeah,
the same thing is that you just want to think about when you're making changes. There's like, when you first start, so we don't want to go gung-ho, but we also want to be aware that there is kind of this window where you can, let's say you're going to start moving more. So we're just going to look at starting to walk more and
yeah,
get a bit of more movement in your day. So you're going to start to notice a change with that. But if you can add in more moving, like starting to move well, and looking at like cleaning up your eating or eating more, or
yeah.
look at adding those things together, there's this window where you can like really lose body fat and increase your muscle.
Muscle, yeah,
So you want to take advantage of that window, because
absolutely.
it doesn't happen, like there's that window's gone for me, because I
Yeah,
exercise regularly. So that's what I'm saying. So you kind of like want to take advantage of this
yeah,
opportunity, like of where your body's at, take advantage of it. So, but
yeah,
just be realistic with where you're at, but see if you can be like, okay, I'm gonna start moving more. I'm gonna start doing stretches for my hips. I'm gonna start walking in the mornings, and like, and maybe you might add extra in, who knows. But then we're going, okay, I'm gonna really, instead of having 2 cans of Pepsi a day, I'm gonna look at having one, or maybe I have one every second day, or like, or just
yeah.
see how, and maybe it's thinking about when you are stressed and you're using like that as your, I just need this. It's just thinking there could be something else that I could replace in that
100%.
time. It
Yeah,
is like stress management is, like a whole other thing, but I use like exercise is my thing, but I also like meditation. It took me a long time to like meditation though. Like
Yeah.
so like I have a sauna, so I like going to the sauna. So that's the beach is my stress relief. So it's just thinking about what's something else that you could do when you feel stressed to not use that. Yeah.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
But even like just in this conversation, like it's helped me even like a lot of penny drops, which is really nice.
So good.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to send it to you so you can re-listen to it.
Yeah,
The
amazing.
other thing is just quick because I've got to go because Charlie's got a
No,
dentist.
you're fine. Yeah,
With the stress is what we want to think about is you want to think about the same as, how the physio said, nothing gets physio, but you know how he's like, oh, this is what to do when it gets bad. So the
yeah.
same as stress, we don't want to only do it when it's bad. We want to look at managing it before it gets bad.
Yes, yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm sure with your work, there's probably some, I don't know if you do, but there's probably, like it's probably looking at some form of stress management for your finishing your work, like coming down off of,
Yeah,
putting the
they're
time.
I
Yeah,
think yeah, everyone's different. Like that's the hardest part. It's not like, what works for me works for someone else. So
yeah.
there's no book, there's no handbook on
No,
it.
no. It's finding your,
And for me, when I am really, really stressed, I will literally retreat. I will stay in my bubble at home.
yeah,
And that's it.
yeah.
Whereas I used to go to the beach. I used to go for a walk along the beach and listen to the water and, all that sort of stuff. So I would love to even implement that back in when I'm stressed. Yeah.
No, implement it before you're stressed. So
Yeah.
look at implementing. So the beach is my place too. And I told myself, so I was quite stressed, and I told myself I didn't have enough time to go to the beach. So that's the excuse I was telling myself. And then I woke up, I had a big talk to myself, and I was like, no, you're just saying that. So I had to look at how I can fit it in. And
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
I fit it in now like at least 3 times a week. So
Yep.
and I go on my own, and so I kept saying to myself I was too busy and I didn't have enough time. At that time, when I was first doing it, I was going to someone's house and training them at their house, but I felt like I always had to rush home to try to do as much work as I could before I had to pick the kids up from school. Then I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, you're already out, you're already in the car. I could drive straight to the beach and go for a beach walk." And that's what I started doing. So you want to
Yep.
think about you want to think about managing your stress before it gets bad, and
Yeah. No,
everything
I love that. Even,
will
yeah,
get easier. Yeah.
if it's already a routine, then it's not
Yeah.
gonna be an issue. Yeah.
Means you're managing your stress before it gets, but yes, there'll still be times where things become overwhelming, but because you've been managing it, it won't feel as bad.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
Yeah.
that's just lots of like little things that I'm like, oh yeah.
I'm glad.
Perfect.
I'm glad. Um, I'm gonna have to toodle off, but what I'm gonna do is I will write this out for you. We'll be able to talk back, and then
Yeah.
you can try it, and then we'll just see how you go. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much.
Cool. Cool, cool. I'm excited for you. So
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm really determined to succeed this time and just really
yeah,
like stick to changing
yeah,
and making it a habit over like
yeah,
just a fad diet. Yeah.
yeah. But remember, slow changes is going to
Yep.
take time. That's going to
Yep.
be long term. Looking for that quick fix, like
Yep. Not gonna happen. Yeah.
it's just not gonna, it's just going to keep you on that same loop. So
Yep.
when you start doing stuff new, it'll feel really overwhelming. So probably the thing that happens the most is people feel really overwhelmed. The
Yep.
thing, remember that feeling overwhelmed isn't a bad thing. Feeling
Yep.
overwhelmed means you're learning. It means you're doing something different. It means and different is going to give you the change. So
That's
when
right.
you feel
Yep.
overwhelmed, which it will happen, I guarantee you,
Yep.
embrace it. Go, yes. Like instead of being like, I'm overwhelmed and it's too much and I'm
Can't
quitting,
do it. Yep.
be like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling overwhelmed. This is the first step. Like it's going to happen, and it will
Amazing.
happen.
Yep.
So expect it, but embrace it and be excited for it instead of being like, oh, it's too hard. I can't do this. I'm giving up.
Yeah, no,
Um,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. So, all right, I will speak to you. I will write something. I will write
Yep.
it to you, and I will get it back to you as soon as I can.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
so glad we got to catch up today. That's cool.
Me too. No,
Yeah.
it's definitely
All right.
like the little stuff I can change. Yeah.
That's so good. That's so
Yeah.
good. And it's nice that you've let me record it because I know that you'll help other people too. So that's
No, I love that. I love that. We all learn together, I think. So
yeah,
it's
very,
yeah.
very. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I will speak to you soon. So from having our chat with Carly, I was able to kind of work out where she was and how she was feeling. What I want to really create for Carly is little small steps, and getting her to see that when she creates these little steps that don't feel so overwhelming, that she'll be more likely to stick to it. And so when we were putting her plan into action, we put a real focus on making small changes and understanding that small changes are going to be long-lasting changes. So I see so many people wanting quick results, and I understand we have this urgency to get this quick result, but I cannot reinforce enough that quick results are never long lasting. They are just that, but generally we end up going backwards, or they're not sustainable. So anyone that I have coached or has been part of my community or in my classes, or I've trained, anyone that has had long lasting results, we have made these small continual improvements. When we try to overhaul everything, it just gets too much. So we were able to focus on that and just focus on creating habits that worked with her lifestyle. And what I will do in the future is we'll be rechecking back in, and then rechecking back in, and alternating kind of her action plan as more habits become part of her everyday life. And Carly has tried so many things in her life that she's tried them and they've not worked, and she's given up. So I want to set her up for success and set her up that she can find things that she's going to be able to stick to, that doesn't feel too much. So we looked at, as part of her action plan, we looked at just starting to increase her daily movement. We recommended, or I suggested, to try the morning, because I always see with people, the nighttime becomes, there's always something that seems to crop up in the evening that we can't get it done. So if she could get in a little of something before she starts work, or before her day has to kick in, then she's already won there. And she was really, really happy to try that out. We looked at trying to get her to eat more regularly. So she's a shift worker. With her shifts, it was kind of hard to implement. She found that her food was a bit sporadic. And so we're looking her just to look at the protein. Again, nothing that's too overwhelming, because I really want her to get rid of this all or nothing thinking, or this good or bad. So we looked at increasing her protein, and just making that the hero of every meal, and looking at eating more regularly. Another key that we talked about was planning. I am a huge planner for my family and my life. And if I wasn't really planning things, I know things wouldn't go as well as they do. And weeks that I don't plan, I really, really notice it. So it was just having a bit of planning around food, which is going to help her eating more regularly, because, we're all busy, and, sometimes it feels just really overwhelming. It feels really hard to have something organized. But if you already got it planned there, then if the choice is already made for you. So we were looking at that. We were looking at adding in some stress management strategies. So including that, when we're stressed, there seems to be food choices that, going away or not moving, so we wanted to kind of come up with a plan when we're feeling good to add in these stress management strategies. And lastly, the last kind of action step was about looking at her hips. So I was able to send her some hip workouts to do, that she could just try to do with her hip, to start getting it to feel better. And this is getting her starting on the process of getting rid of that pain that she's got. Now, I did this interview a couple of weeks ago, and then I actually went away, so I hadn't had a chance to get back to it. But the best thing is that I can already report back to you on how Carly has been. So I'm really excited to have a proper chat with her soon, but she has sent me a message or so, and she's told me that she's been doing her daily hip movement, and she's already noticed a huge difference in her pain levels. And she was also telling me how she just was really grateful for the chat, and that she feels the most motivated that she's ever felt about, getting her health back the way that she wants it. So that is amazing to hear. And I hope that you can see from listening to Carly's story that it's so possible for you too. It is just starting to put in these small actionable steps that doesn't feel too overwhelming. And Carly's also said she knows she needs another level of accountability. So she's already setting that stuff up for herself. So I'm really, really proud of how far she's come in only a few weeks. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait for a few months, and I'll be able to report back to everybody on how far she's done. So, it is really good to just see by just taking that one step forward. So she took the one step in asking if we could do the call. So that was her taking her first step forward. And we were able to fit in the call and the coaching call, and we were able to do it. And now we've set up these actionable steps, and she's motivated enough, and she's starting to put them into place, and it doesn't feel too overwhelming for her, which is what I really, really wanted, because she'll more likely be able to stick to it. And it's also remembering that, we will get to a point where there might be something that's not working, but we can always adjust that for her. So that's her story, and she's done really well. And if you would like to be someone that gets a coaching call, you can apply for it on my website. So make sure that you go there to apply for it, because, let's get an action plan in place for you, so we can start getting things, getting you feeling the way you want to be, and getting these things in order. So I'm going to love yous and leave yous now, and make sure, if you know that this could help someone, please share the podcast, because the more people that we can get listening to the podcast, the more people that we can get feeling good about themselves, and putting in these habits that align with them, and that we are to stick to, so we can get rid of this, feeling like we're not good enough, or feeling like we're helpless and there's nothing we can do, because there is always something you can do, and there is something that will always work for you. I promise you. And remember, I always have your back, and I'm always on your side. And I look forward to hearing from you all soon. Okay, bye.